fans. Pose for the pose for the for the pose pose for the fans. Pose for the pose for the for the pose pose for the fans. For the fans. For the fans. Pose for the pose for the pose for the pose for the fans. Pose for the pose for the fans. For the fans.
So, good day, sir. Today, I'm going to tackle and correlate this some additional topic about business ethics and communication, financial management and sports, marketing and public relations, and legal aspect of sports management.
So first, we're going to discuss the business ethics and communication. So what is business ethics and business communication? So first is business ethics. Business ethics refers to the moral principles and values that guide a company decisions, our actions and interactions within all stakeholders. So we are having here an ethical values. So on the other hand, business communication is the process of sharing information between people within the outside of a company, aiming to achieve organizational goals. So, having a effective communication will lead us or will lead to someone to achieve his or her goals. So, in business ethics and communication, we have here the principles of ethical communication. So, first, we have the truthfulness and honesty. So, this very important, truthfulness. We need to be honest in all aspects that we are doing. So, for what? To avoid deception. To avoid deception, misrepresentation, and omission of critical information. So, we need to be honest, we need to be truth, the impact of honesty on trust and credibility. So, next, we have the transparency. So, the transparency is openness in sharing information, especially regarding decisions, processes, and information. So, dito naman, we need to be open. We need to be open in communication, open to share information, especially we're doing decisions for having smooth flow of communication. So, we have also balancing transparency with confidentiality. So, when you say confidentiality, so hindi lahat ng nalalaman mo ay maaari mong i-share. So, we are having here confidentiality. So, we have also the fairness and respect. So, sa fairness and respect naman, treating all the communicators and audience with respect and impartiality. So, this is also a very important kasi in doing business, if you're not given respect on your client and also a fairness, so hindi ka talaga magiging successful sa ini-aim na business mo. So, you need to be fair and show respect to them. So, avoiding bias, prejudice, and discrimination in communication. So, we have also number 4, accountability. So, taking responsibility for the content and impact of communication. So, ito naman sa accountability, from the words taking responsibility. So, if whatever happens on that situation or in that business or something, you need to take accountability. Take responsibility on that. So, mechanisms for addressing communication failures. So, kailangan mo mag-address ng solution. Gawan mo siya ng solution. Take accountability on it. So, we have also here confidentiality and privacy. So, protecting sensitivity information, customer data, and employee records, trade secrets. So, in doing business, ethics and communication, so this is very essential. So, by protecting their confidentiality and having a privacy. So, protecting their information, yes, hindi ibig sabihin pag client to isang tao, i-share mo na sa isang client mo na ganito yung pinag-usapan niya. No, you need to maintain the confidentiality and the privacy of your business. So, compliance with data privacy regulations. So, maaari po tayong kasuhan pag ginawa natin yan.
Ethical challenges and business communication. First is misleading advertising and marketing. This is the line between puffery and false claims is a major ethical boundary. Additionally, targeted advertising raises concerns about privacy and whether companies are exploiting and vulnerabilities of specific demographic groups using the personal data. Second is crisis communication ethics. This is when things go wrong. The ethical approach was proactive honesty. Third is internal communication ethics. This focuses on the relationship between the organization and its employees.
So number four, digital communication ethics involve ensuring the security, privacy, and integrity of digital information. So first, we have the cybersecurity and data breaches. Like for example, uh, protect sensitive information, authorize access. And also we have the social media, like managing online reputation, employee social media conduct. So we need it it establish guidelines for employee social media conduct. And also we have the deep fake and AI generated content. So we need to avoid creating or spreading manipulate content.
So let's proceed to financial management in sports. So we have here the basic financial principles in sports management. So ano nga ba yung basic financial principles in sports management? So financial, from the word finance. So financial management in sports involves planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. So these financial resources to achieve the objectives of sports organization. So upang ma-achieve natin yung um, goals natin, yung mga objectives natin sa isang sports organization, we need to have a plan. Then organize it, directing and controlling. Among four, first talaga natin gagawin is yung planning. Syempre, we're doing planning, we're doing organizing, we're doing directing, and we are doing controlling. So, in this topic, the basic financial principles, it includes budgeting, financial analysis, investments, investment decisions, risk management, and ensuring compliance with financial regulations.
New generation. Diversification. Sports organizations aim to generate revenue from multiple sources to reduce reliance on any single stream, like ticket sales and media rights. Into ticket sales, primary source for many teams and events, and also in the media rights, broadcasting deals in TV streaming are often the largest revenue component for major leagues. And lastly, the sponsorship and advertising. Partnerships with brands for visibility during games, on jerseys, or in venues. In the merchandise sales, apparel, memorabilia, and other branded products like concessions and hospitality, food, beverages, and premium seating. Next is venue rentals and events, hosting non-sporting events, player transfer from some sports, selling player contracts, and lastly is the maximization, strategies to increase revenue from each source, example dynamic ticket pricing and tiered sponsorship packages.
Number two, cost management. What are the inside of cost management? So we have here cost control, layer salaries, operational costs, administrative expenses, and lastly, efficiency. So, cost control, minimizing expenses without compromising performance or quality. Next, layer salaries, often the largest expenses, requiring careful negotiate and salary cap management. So, it is very important that the player salaries are equal and clear and also managed by the coach. Next, operational cost. We have here venue also, maintenance, utilities, travel, equipment, and marketing. So it is very important that um, it will maintain the maintenance and also who will be maintaining the venue. We have the utilities. Also the high quality of the equipment. Next, we have administrative expenses. So we have here staff salaries, offer, supplies, and technology. So in administrative expenses, you will be ex- expecting the staff salaries that will come out, and also offer supplies. It is very important, the quality of the supplies, and also technology. So lastly, we have efficiency. What is efficiency? It is utilizing resources effectively to get the most value for money. So that's all. Profitability and sustainability. We have here financial health, long-term viability. So what is financial health? So ensuring revenues exceed expenses to generate profit and maintain liquidity. So in financial health, it is very important that ensuring our health, lalo na if you're a player. Also, it generates profit. So to ensure that the player has a financial health or um, revenues exceed expenses. So as a player, you have your financial or your insurance as a player. It is very important because we cannot tell if you will face or um what you call, you will have an accident. So accident we cannot tell. Next we have long term viability. So in long term viability, making decisions that see the organization's financial future, including reinvestment in infrastructure, youth development, or talent acquisition. So in long-term viability, it is very important in making decisions that secures the organization. So it can also clear to everyone that um, in making decision is very important, lalo na in a game. So it should be clear and well planned.
So number four, asset management. Tangible assets, stadium, training facilities, equipment, and proper maintenance and strategic investment are crucial. So intangible asset, where athletes can do their proper training, which is the training ground. And intangible asset, brand value, player contracts, and media rights, protecting, enhancing these assets in vital. So intangible assets means where social media are enhancing these assets to viral and where social media platform are needed.
Financial planning and analysis, budgeting and forecasting, developing annual budget and financial forecasts using financial models to project for future performance. So, casting rights agreement event including terms, condition, and revenue sharing. So, broadcasting right agreement that allows TV, network, or online platform to show sport event in exchange for payments. Or for example, isang TV network ang bumili ng rights para ipalabas ang laro sa ng isang football league.
So these are the purpose of budgeting: planning, controlling, evaluation, communication, decision. Planning. Figure out what you want to financial achieve, then set out exactly how you set the money or resource to get there. Control. Use the budget as a ticket. Compare what you actually spend or earn to help plan and fix the issue like spending too much right away. Evaluation. See how well teams or departments in the business stuck to their budget and use their money effectively. Communication. Make sure everyone in the company knows exactly how much money they can use and what they are supposed to use it for. Decision making. So use the budget, financial details to make smart, big choices. These are the key steps in the budgeting process. Step 1. Set financial goals. Figure out the big, specific financial result the organization want to hit. Define overarching financial objectives. So these are the concrete targets like making a set amount of profit, bring in more sales incoming, owing less money, or improving company space or equipment. Align the organization's strategic vision. The financial goals need to match the entire company. So the budget works toward the business actually wants to achieve overall. Step 2. Forecast revenues. So make a calculate guess of all the money the organization will earn using past data, current market trends, how well the team is expect to perform, and the overall economic situation. Double context. So example, for a local basketball team. So gate receipts or target ticket sales. So guess how money they'll get from ticket. So using past game attendance number, or how well the team is project to do this season, and how much local people can afford to spend or entertainment right now. Sponsorship. So guess how money they'll get from sponsor using existing sponsor contracts and possible new sponsor they might work with. Step 3. Estimate expenses. Figure out all the money the organization will need to spend over the budget period. Fixed costs. Costs that stay same no matter how the business or team does, like paying to rent stadium every month or paying admin staff or set salary. Variable costs. Costs that change based on how much the business or team does. Like example, bonuses for players that depend on how many games they win, or extra staff hired only busy game days. Capital expenditures. So one time big spending on things that the business or team will use for a long time. Like example, like buying new basketball equipment, or fixing up the stadium.
So, I will discuss the step 4. Allocate resources. This step is about deciding how to divide the available resources across the organization to make sure everything runs smoothly and goes to Met. So I have 2 explanations for this. Distribute the funds to the different functions. This means assigning the specific amounts to the key area like player operations, marketing, promotions, fan engagement, facilities, and youth academic. Each area needs to funding to carry out the daily task and project. And the number 2 is prioritize spending based on strategic goals and returns. It's not just about splitting the money evenly. You focus where it have the biggest impact. For example, For example, if the main goal is to win more games, you might prioritize spending on players' operation. If you want to grow your fan base long term, you might invest more marketing and youth academic. You also consider which investments are like to bring back the most value. And this is for the last example, like a talented young player who could become a star and marketing, campaign and boost ticket sales. So I will explain the step 5, review and approval. This is the final checkpoint for the proposed budget before it's official put into an action. It ensures the budget is sound, makes sense for the organization, and has buy-in from the top decision makers. So I have two explanations for this. Review by seniors management and the board of directors. These are the people with the highest authority and a broad strategic view of the organizations. The senior management is like a CEO or the department heads. Check if the budget works for the day-to-day operation, while the board of directors ensures it aligns with the long-term business or organization interests. Adjustments made for realism, alignment, and approval. The reviewers won't just say yes or no right away. They likely suggest changes. For this example, they might cut spending in one area if it's unrealistic, or add more in the department critical to meeting goals. Once these tweaks are made and everyone agrees for the budget is solid, it gets the official green light and not the red light to be implemented to the budget. So I will discuss the step 6, monitoring and control. This step 6, it happens after the budget is approved and in use. It's about keeping a close on an eye how well the organization is sticking to the budget and fixing issues in things of a track. So I have 2 explanations or 3. Regular compare actual budgeted revenues and expenses. You check in on a set schedule like every month or 3 months to see how much the money organization actually made revenues and spending expenses. Then compare that to the number you plan in the budget. Identify variances and investigation causes. A variances is just a difference between you planned and what actually happened. For example, you budgeted 10,000 for making a marketing but spent 12,000. That's a 2K unfavorable variance. You then took look into why. Why did the campaign cost more than expected? Was there an emergency expenses? Variance analyze leads to corrective action. By understanding why differences happen, you can take step to the back on track. For instance, if overspending was due to unplanned cost, you might adjust future spending or find ways to cut costs.
So next, in marketing and public relations in sports, we have the marketing strategies and public relation in sports. So, before that, ano nga ba yung marketing in sports and public relations? So, yung marketing in sports, it involves strategies to promote sports team, events, athletes, and related product or services to attract fans. So, yun yung ginagawa ng marketing in sports. Nagma-market tayo sa sports to promote our sport teams, our events, our athletes, and related product or services to attract customers or fans to increase our revenue and build brand loyalty. It also includes market research, advertising and sponsorships, sales promotions, and digital marketing. So, yung public relation naman, on the other hand, yung PR natin and in sports, um, public relations in sports manage the communication between a sports organization and its various stakeholders, including fans, media sponsors, and the community. So yung public relations natin or mas tinatawag nating PR, sila yung nagko-communicate sa isang organization to have a sponsors, to have media supporters, within our community. So also, PR aims to create a positive image, manage crisis, and build a strong relationship through media relations community outreach, and strategic communication. So, yun po yung pinagkaiba ng marketing in sports and public relations. So we have here the key elements of effective public relations strategy or PR. So we have here define goals and objective. Syempre, we need to define our goals and objectives. Why we started? What is our purpose? What is our goals? What is our objectives? So as a PR aligned efforts with the overall business objectives of a team or organization. Sila yung overall. Sila yung nag-handle sa kabuuan ng magiging goals ng isang team or organization. Next is we need to have a target audience identification. Syempre, if we're having a business, we need to look our audience. Who is our audience? So we need to identify and understand the target audience, whether fans, media, sponsors, or other stakeholders. So next we have compelling messaging. So in this, we need to develop a consistent and compelling narrative that highlights unique selling points and accomplishments. Syempre, para maging success yung business natin. So also we have media relations. So media relations, this is also important. A strong relationship with media outlets and influence to increase visibility and coverage. So also media relations. So we have also a digital marketing. So in digital marketing, we use social media and digital platforms to connect with fans and followers. Syempre, we are now a technology literate. So most of us or a lot of people use technology. So they use digital platforms. So by using digital marketing, we can connect online platforms. You can use online platforms to connect with our fans and followers online. So lastly, we have a crisis management. So in crisis management, we need to prepare for and manage negative situation or crisis such as athlete scandals or public relations issue. So we need, in this crisis management, syempre, hindi naman sa lahat ng bagay okay or smooth yung flow ng gagawin natin. So we need to think in advance, to look in advance what are the possible actions we need to do if there is something circumstances happened. So dyan papasok si crisis management. So in our fourth topic, we have the legal aspect of sports management. So in legal aspect of sports management, the key legal principles in sports management, in several legal principles ensures that sports industry operates ethically, fairly, and legally. So these principles protect the rights and interests of athletes, fans, sponsors, and other stakeholders. So we have here the 10 laws of legal aspect of sports management. So these are the some laws that we research. So the first we have here the contract law, intellectual property law, labor and employment law, antitrust law, tort law, contractual agreement. We have also intellectual property protection, labor and employment law, and we have also the antitrust and competition law, and tort, liability, and risk management. We have also the dispute resolutions and abbreviations. We have also the privacy and data protection, and lastly, we have the ethical consideration.